You are live.
Welcome, everyone, to the best sports gambling show on the planet. This is Wager Talk Today. I'm your host, Andy from WagerTalk.com. It is $5 Tuesday. Let's go. One of the best days of the week. Every handicapper can put up a play for only $5, and we want to bet responsibly. We want to get as many handicappers as we can today because we want to look at the write-ups. We want to see if we vibe with the handicapper. So take advantage of $5 Tuesday. I have a play up in NBA. I know Gianni is going to have a $5 play up. All of us are going to have it, but we want to bet responsibly. We want to celebrate the day. We want to enjoy it. It's going to be a great day of sports. So let's get started. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. That way you get notified when all of our shows go live, including this one. And let's just get right into it, guys. We're going to talk to Gianni. We're going to get the Steam report, see where all the sharp money's going. My buddy, Skee Profit's going to be here. We're going to talk Pacers and Knicks. I'm going to have a heart attack if the Pacers lose this one. He's also going to talk WNBA. I've got a free play we're going to talk about in the WNBA. Prez is going to join us. We're going to talk the Stars and the Oilers, NHL. And then Steve Merril is going to join us, and we're going to talk a couple of MLB plays. And then myself and Dan, we talked about the Eagles on their season win totals, which I thought was a great discussion. So we did his hometown team. We're going to do my hometown team. We're going to talk about the Colts and their season win total. So give us your comments in the comment section in the chat. Let us know if you like the Eagles over under, if you like the Colts over under. Let's get into it. Gianni, oh man, great Memorial Day, man. I see you're still on top of the leaderboard. Congratulations, brother. I always love seeing that. So tell everyone how you're doing, and let's get into it. Where's the money going?
Thank you, man. So far, so good. Came into 2025 with a lot of pressure to not repeat losing 2024. Again, I've got 10 years documented, 8 of those won. So really wanted to make 2025 special. So far, so good. I now moved into number 2 in profit overall for 2025, heading into today. Number 1 in Major League Baseball, number 1 in all of baseball in 2025. Just a good year. The 5% are doing very well. So just grinding, putting in the work, and it's paying off. That's the job. So far, so good. And appreciate everyone that put their trust in me for this year. Looking forward to celebrating. But we got a lot of work to do between now and December 31st. So let's just keep it going. Here's what we got so far today. Real quickly in WNBA, Connecticut. Any 4.5 or 5 that's popped off, Connecticut has been bet as a home dog. That's why you're seeing mostly 4s on the Dallas side. But Connecticut is definitely a steam play in WNBA. Move over to regular NBA, the men's side. Indiana 2-1. That's Knicks were able to get that win, the pivotal win in Game 3. Indiana in this spot historically, these teams tend to go up 3-1 about 6 out of 10 times. That's why they're now a slight favorite. They were the dog, if you remember, in Game 3. So now you're paying a little bit of a premium in Game 4 because the last thing Indiana wants to do is give up home court advantage. This is a very, very, very important game for the Indiana Pacers, and the books are charging a slight premium. No surprise. That's who's getting the money so far. Been the recreational bettors that are betting it. That's where the risk is coming from. But we have seen a little bit of drop in the line. It opened at 2.5, got bet to 3 immediately. It looked like the Sharps were going to back Indiana, and that 3 may get juiced, but nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, opposite immediately at 3. Group came in, took the 3 on the Knicks, took the 2.5 on the Knicks. That's why you're looking at 2 right now. So it seems like a difference of opinion between the Sharps and the public. I haven't bet the side yet. None of the groups I work with are behind that move, but it just seems like that's how that line movement is being set up. Also, the under is one-sided from the sharp bettors. Public's kind of betting it 2 ways. No risk from the public, just as much over money as under money, just as many over tickets as under tickets. A little more on the over with the tickets because of the teasers and the parlays, but nothing really sticks out. Like I said, the sharp money did go under. That's why you've seen the total drop since that opened up. NHL real quickly, Dallas, Edmonton. Edmonton's up, but they don't really do good in this game. A team in Dallas's spot tends to win over 60% of the time. They're able to even the series to 2-2. Public doesn't care. They're betting Edmonton again blindly today. They won with them in Game 3. They're coming right back with them in Game 4 and also betting the game under. Did see plus 140 get taken out last night, so it seems like at plus 140, they will get some sharp money. So if they want to bump this line up, they should be able to limit some of that risk, because it does look like the Sharps want to get a nice price to bet Dallas, or it seems like they're leaving it alone. Finally, in Major League Baseball, 961 Toronto down to about plus 125. 956 Arizona. They laid the chalk there, first 5 and full game. 957 Miami, plus 155 down to plus 145. And then Houston, game 904, Houston laid the chalk at minus 200. That's why they're about 230 right now. They also went over, but it's 7.5, delayed all the way up to minus 130, 135 to go over 7.5 instead of 8. And finally, Washington, Seattle, another flat total that they bet the 8 up to minus 125, laid off the 8.5, which is pretty much what's painted right now across the board. So a little busier than yesterday as we get back to the daily grind with the big 3-day weekend now behind us.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, Johnny, let's celebrate. We got UFC back in our lives, baby.
Yeah,
let's do
coming
it.
Saturday, brother.
Hey, can you send me one of those Contender Series shirts? I'm a Contender Series guru.
Are you? I love it. I live for it. Absolutely. As soon as it starts up this summer, I'll grab you one because they have them at the, they give us some swag once they start. Because they sell stuff at the Apex. I'll grab you one. Absolutely. Just remind me.
You don't know this because you're on Contender Series. So we do a live show where we watch Contender Series live every show, and we make notes on all the fighters that get contracts. I have my handicap done when these guys make their UFC debut.
Smart man.
It's done. It's done. And we make a killing because we know these fighters when they make their UFC debut and nobody else does. And I forgot you don't even know that because you're actually on the Contender
Series. If I'm a part of it this year, I haven't gotten the invite yet. So I don't know if I'll be part of this, like my 6th season there, hopefully. But again, those jobs are never guaranteed. They move people in and out. But hopefully I'm part of that contender crew. Regardless, I do have access to go. So even if I'm not on the show, I will be going. Just remind me as soon as this starts up, man. I'll grab you some contender swag for sure.
Yeah, it's our favorite. It's a cash cow. Contender
Tuesday's the best.
It's a cash cow.
They're so smart. They got their own day. They were smart, just like Monday Night Football. Now UFC has their own day with the contender on Tuesday. Everyone looks forward to those 10 weeks.
It's the best. Okay, I have a big topic I want to talk about, but we need to bring in Dan for this one. So Dan, come in here. Things that don't show up in the stat sheets. I think locker room guys, something like that. So Dan did the handicap of the century behind the scenes. And Dan, just give us 30 seconds. You had 2 plays that you liked. The lines moved. If we would have played them, we'd lose both by the hook. And then I want to go to Gianni to talk about how crucial it is to lay off losing plays that eat away at your bankroll. So Dan, give us real quick the player prop and the total.
No, that's why I'm looking forward to hearing Gianni's follow-up, because partially it's something that I've learned from listening to Gianni over the years. When I first started, I was, doing production here for Bet On It. And that was when Ace was still on Bet On It, which, stay tuned, you might be having that. But essentially, sometimes laying off of a play is going to be the best play that you make, right? So the lines first came out. We actually talked about the game yesterday. We gave out the over, kind of fading everyone who was on the under, and we end up cashing that. Hopefully people cashed with us, but it opened at 23.5. And when that opened, I said, that number, that feels too high for these two teams. So I said, hey, I like the under. I send in the play to Andy and I's chat. I say, I think we should put this in here for clients. And then Andy says, well, it's 22.5 across the board. And I said, well, it's not a client play anymore. Not even at a 1%, man. So we laid off of that one. Same thing happens. We go, man, this goalie, he's really hot right now. The line opens up, his saves at 10.5. I said, that's way too low, Andy, or not way too low. It's low enough that we need to make this a client play on the under, or the over, excuse me. And Andy goes, well, it's 11.5 everywhere. And I said, well, it's not a play anymore. And then, guys, we end up, the total lands 23. So you win on 22.5 if you bet the over. You win on the under at 23. Perfect middle right there. But a point of a middle. You don't try and extrapolate that out. the goalie ends up exactly with 11 saves, Gianni. How often does that happen, that a half point you win, a half point you lose, and that's why you have to be so judicious, right? It's something that you've always preached and something that definitely is not falling on deaf ears over here.
Bro, that's why you guys made money last year. That's why you guys are making money this year. That's exactly the perfect example of the difference between someone that's doing it for profit and someone that's doing it for entertainment. Because if you're betting for profit, you want to be betting from a position of strength. And you're not doing that if you're betting it after the line moves, even if it's moving in the direction that you predicted it should move, that you predicted that, listen, this line's too high. I think the under's the right side. And then the market reflects that. Like, if anything, you should feel good about that. But the value's gone now. It's been extracted. Not saying that there's no bet to be made, but you have to stop. You got to take a step back and reassess it, because you're no longer placing the same bet. You're now looking at it as, am I going under 22.5? Because 23.5 is now gone. The new bet is now 22.5. And do I think this number is going to close at 21.5? Is it going to close at 20.5? Like, will I have closing line value, which assures that I'm getting ahead of the market, that I am setting myself up for long-term profit? Or am I now hoping to be the product of good luck? And that, yeah, I'm just on the right side, regardless of price. Because I see that happen all the time. I've lived in Las Vegas long enough that I see guys so many times walk into the sports book, get to the window, and they go to bet it, and they're like, oh, wait, I thought the line was 7. And they're like, oh, no, it's 7.5 now. And they just bet it anyway. Like, hey, I drove all the way there. I'm going to watch the game. I want to bet it. What's the difference? If it's going to cover, it's going to cover. We talked about it so many times. The difference between being a winning sports bettor, where you could just spend the rest of your life turning profit by beating the book, is 1 out of every 20 bets. At minus 110, again, if you go 10-10, the VIG's going to eat you up. If you go 11-9, you could continue to just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So it's that one bet out of every 20 that actually separates a losing bettor from a winning bettor. And if you start, it's a half point, but what's the big deal? It's a point, but what's the big deal? Those are going to separate between being profitable and being a losing bettor. Our edge isn't that great to begin with. We talk about bet sizing so much because if you overbet that edge, as good of a handicapper as you are, you're not going to be able to survive the negative runs during even your most profitable years, so that you are able to take advantage of being able to pick those plus EV spots. Like, you have to trust in the law of big numbers if you trust in your handicapping, but you'll never get to the big numbers if you don't have the bankroll to survive the losing stretches. And when you're taking a half point worse, a point worse, that will differentiate between being profitable and being just a losing bettor. It really is that slim. So you have to have that discipline. Even deep down, there's so many times I want to bet something, and I'm like, I know it's still going to win. I know it's the right side, but I force myself not to do it. Like, I can't do it, because you have to set those parameters. You have to set those rules. And we talked about it again, so I won't go deep because we have games to get to and more cappers coming on behind me. But if your actions don't reflect that of a profitable sports bettor, you don't deserve the profit. And a winning sports bettor is not going to take a bad number. That's the bottom line.
Yes.
So that's a perfect example of what happens when you choose right. But regardless of how that turned out, you did the right thing. And if you just keep doing that over and over again, you'll do well. You'll actually put yourself in a position to win, because you'll be betting from position of strength. But when you're just willing to bet the side, regardless of the number, you're not betting from any position of strength. You're betting from a position of weakness. And that's what the books want. So yeah, great job laying off those bets, man. That's the discipline you need.
And let's hammer this home. I'm guessing the people that send you plays, if it's 7, it goes to 7.5. They're like, no,
they don't want it, dude. They don't even. I can't even ask. Like, I'm not even gonna in the instant message be like, oh, 7.5, okay? I already know it's not. Like, that's what the number they want. That's it. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And it took me a long time to get there as well, because again, when I was further down in the food chain, I was getting it later. So it was like, I still wanted to get action in. So even if the numbers weren't available, I would still take a bad number. And that was so many times the difference between seeing these guys win for the week and me lose for the week. Like, that's just a terrible position to put yourself in. So yeah, that's one of those habits that you have to break, and you can't keep betting it when the number moves against you, like where you're now getting the worst of it. I think that was a great example. You guys followed through and it paid off. Yeah,
it's just too important. And that's something that doesn't go on the stat sheet. We could have been down 6 units in lacrosse plays and lost both plays by the hook. So, Gianni, we got to get going. It's $5 Tuesday. Tell everyone what you have up for clients.
Already got my MLB package up. 2 plays in there, 4% as well. And more will be definitely going in there. We're doing good with baseball. The only thing, the reason my 5% isn't up, and it'll be up probably within the next 30 minutes, is I'm trying to determine whether I'm going to go with NBA or the UFC for Saturday. I may just give the NBA play since it's tonight and put up the UFC package as well, because I already narrowed down a nice UFC pick for Saturday. So good day. Head on over and make sure you check out. I do put free plays every day. Yesterday, I had another premium play that I released for free on my page. Make sure you check that page out every day. There will be a free premium play for sure. So best of luck. Hope you guys have a great week ahead. And don't forget, last blackjack class of this course, first course we ever had at WagerTalk. It will be finished tonight. We're going to review everything from A to Z, and all the graduates will walk out there knowing they're the favorite versus the house. So thank you, guys. Thank you for your trust, and glad you guys will be walking away with that skill set after the end of tonight.
Thank you, Gianni. Always appreciate you, and I can't wait for the topic for the next 2 days to go over with Gianni. You guys got to join us tomorrow and Wednesday. It's going to be the topics that we're going to drop for Gianni are going to be great. All right, Dan, let's go all around the world. We got some free plays. These are up at the WagerTalk free plays page. If you guys want free plays, there's a lot of them up there. By the way, Ralph Michaels is secretly crushing his yes runs and no runs first inning. I think we're either 4-1 or 3-2. Lake Show Magazine, you've been tracking our plays on that. Ralph Michaels' no runs, yes runs first inning have been really, really good. So go ahead and check those out. I don't think he has one up today on the free page. Didn't see anything like, but we do have some other ones. Carmine likes the Stars and the Oilers over 1.5 goals in the first period. 3 games gone over in a row, 5-1 last 6 Oilers home games. So Stars, Oilers over 1.5 goals in the first period. Teddy covers. He likes the Orioles on the money line. He cashed on them yesterday. It's a big, long write-up. Go check it out at the free page. He's coming right back to it, so check on the Orioles. WNBA, this is a client play for us. Marina Mabry, under 2.5 made threes. She's gone under in 3 out of 4 games. She does shoot a lot, but she's shooting 25% from threes from the season. So that means she needs to get like 9 or 10 shots, and I don't see the volume there. So Marina Mabry under 2.5 on the 3-pointers. Teddy covers likes the Orioles, and Carmine likes the Stars and the Oilers over 1.5 in the first period. All right, guys, promos. You guys know it's $5 Tuesday, and we talk about this. Bet responsibly. Go grab as many plays as you want, but set a limit for yourself. Maybe it's I'm only going to put 8% of my bankroll on all these different plays, or 5%, but you don't need to have half your bankroll on these plays. This is a great way to just try a handicapper that you've never tried before, or try a guy that you've really liked their videos on and you want to see what their write-ups are like. If you vibe with one of them, this is what we say. If you vibe with one of them, maybe you can invest in a 7-day, 30 days, 365 days. But take advantage of $5 Tuesday. All these plays are up. Every handicapper can put up a $5 play. We've also got a special going on flex plays. I know I got to give Johnny and the office credit on flex plays. I didn't understand flex plays. And then they put them out, and you guys love them. I've seen the numbers. This is one of our best promos. You can get 33% more flex plays. So if you buy 3, you get 1 free. If you buy 7, you get 3 free. If you buy 30, you get 10 free. So you get to pick your handicapper per day. So you want to, take a look at Steve Merril today. Great, you get Steve Merril's plays. Tomorrow, you want to look at Marco. All right, we got that one. You want to look at Brian Power on Friday. You can get that one. So flex plays become one of the best things that we have going for us at the website. So you can get that 33% more flex plays. So it's $5 Tuesday. It's 33% more flex plays. So take advantage of that. All these are on the specials page at WagerTalk, or you just go to the handicappers page and get the $5 play. All right, let's bring in Skee Profit. my Pacers blew it. My Pacers blew it the other night. I was partying with my buddies, and we were up 20 early, and we're like, they're going to run him out of the gym. And then the Knicks started playing defense, and Karl Anthony Towns showed his upside, and he cooked us. And I think I could defend the pick and roll better than Miles Turner. His feet are in cement, Skee. What is he doing out there? So, first off, how are you, my friend? I hope everything's going well, and let's talk about this Pacers and Knicks game.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I can't complain. I mean, there was something you said, but I kind of forgot now. There's some things in the chat that I also wanted to bring up. There was one. Mike R says, I can never find these free plays on the website. There's literally a tab at the top that says free picks. All you do is got to just click it, and they all pop up right there. What you said about the flex plays, I still don't understand. But people come up to me at the casino and say that they love it. So I'm with you. It must be a good thing. Everybody loves it. You can take advantage of or roll with whoever you want to roll with every single day. And, yeah, we can get to the Pacers game.
All right, let's do it. Pacers, Knicks. Nesmith is going to be a game-time decision. Even if he plays, he's not going to be 100%. We've got the spread. Pacers -2, -2.5, over under 220.5. How do you see this game going down?
I have a lot of different feelings about this game. You kind of mentioned the Knicks playing defense, right? And it almost happened like by accident, because what I noticed, I went back and watched, a few of these games. The Knicks cannot defend when they have both Brunson and Towns on the floor together. The Pacers just pick on both of them. They decide which one they want to pick on, and their defensive rating with both of them on the court is 119.2. If you take off Towns and leave Brunson, it gets a little bit better at 111.5. But if you take off Brunson and leave Towns, it gets way better, 92.1. So I think what we saw in that game is the Knicks were able to come back with defense because they got lucky. Brunson was in foul trouble. Towns was in foul trouble. They had to play those other guys, and those guys were good defensively. So I think they can build on that. I also look at the Pacers. Every game so far in this series, the offensive rating dips every single game. And if you look at the second half, the offensive rating was 87.5 for the Pacers. So I think a combination of Nesmith being hurt, I think that hurts the Pacers quite a bit. I think the Knicks playing more guys is helpful because the Pacers' big advantage is their depth. If the Knicks can now trust more guys and they can play defense, they have a great chance to win in this game. So I'm leaning towards the Knicks there. And one more thing I wanted to mention in this game is if I'm looking at the total or want to think about when I would expect points, we talked about the defense a little bit there. The time we know both Cat and Brunson will be on the court together is the beginning of the game, the first quarter, no matter what. They're going to start. So I was considering a first quarter over. The Pacers, throughout that, they started off, playing fast, but when they got the big lead, they stopped playing their game and slowed it down, and that's probably part of why they lost. So I think I've heard Halliburton mention about the pace. I've heard Miles Turner say they didn't play their game. They need to play faster. I think we see that right out the gate. Does it last for the entire game? I don't know. So what I'll leave the viewers with for this game, either first quarter over, I think the number I saw was 56.5, or I think the Knicks can win this game.
I hope you're wrong.
Pacers still can win the series.
My heart can't take it anymore, Skee. We're just a couple games away from making it to the finals. So I asked Rob. You and I just love Rob. Like we adore him. I asked him, Thunder and Pacers in this new age of the NBA with the salary cap, depth is kind of the new big three. It feels like. What's your take on what you're seeing in the NBA right now?
Well, honestly, it's hard for me to keep up with all the new rules and, the tiers or, how they have for teams. But they're trying to make it, I guess, so, the super teams go away and you build the teams more organically. And I can't say, you may not love it right now that you don't see your favorite players in the playoffs, but I think it could be good for the league. It'll be something where we may not see the same teams over and over again in the finals. If we got a Thunder and Pacers final, I think it will be fun to watch. If you're a basketball fan, I think would agree. Fast offense,
It's going to be amazing. That's an amazing
Yeah.
basketball series. Like, yeah, I mean, just as a fan, I'm hoping for it. So I listen, I'm a Pacers fan. So I'm a nerd boy out on there. But I agree that the Pacers and Thunder, basketball-wise, that's the best series that we want to watch. So
One more thing, Andy, before we move on.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, I love that they start Mitchell Robinson for the simple fact that it takes away them being able to foul him from the jump. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you foul him, you're just going to get the whole team in bonus for the whole quarter, and you don't want to do that. So I think there's some good decisions being made by Thibodeau currently.
I agree. Let's go to the WNBA. We got two juggernauts here, Storm and the Lynx. Storm 3-1, Lynx undefeated. These are two of the best teams in the WNBA. And guys, there's a reason we talk about the WNBA on here. It's because it's profitable. We know that the ratings aren't going to be great. We know people are not going to tune in to watch the WNBA breakdown. There is so much money to be made. We cashed our last WNBA prop. So break this one down. The Storm, we got the Lynx -7. Boy, that sounds like a lot. Over under 156.5. How do you see this game going?
Man, it's crazy. The league continues to grow. Even if it's not that big now, it's still bigger and getting bigger than it used to be from a guy who's been following for some years. This game, yes, you mentioned undefeated Lynx team, the Storm, 3-1. They opened the season. They looked terrible in that game versus the Mercury, but since I think they've been a lot more impressive. They've won 3 straight. A couple of the teams weren't, the most impressive victories as far as opponent, but they had a dominant 20-point victory over the Aces, and we know they have that championship pedigree. So facing another team just like that in the Lynx, I think they'll be up for it. And I think because the Lynx are undefeated, I mean, the Lynx just came from the finals, et cetera, you have to pay a little bit of a premium to back them. Like the Lynx were -7. I took them in the first game versus the Wings. The Wings are bottom of the barrel. They still haven't won a game. Now they're still -7 versus the Storm. Storm at 3-1. I just think it's a little bit too much. You look at Minnesota. They haven't won by this margin since that opener versus the Wings. And this game, they should be getting Kayla McBride back. If she doesn't play, it'll because she's not ready yet because of conditioning. She hasn't played a game. But we know in basketball, when you get that high usage player back into the lineup, it can throw off the rhythm that the whole team has. So, like I said, although she's an elite shooter, top tier talent, I'm just not sure that things are going to flow so smoothly in this first game. So, I think 6.5 currently. No, 7.5. I see 7.5. That's the same number that I got. I like the Storm in this one. And if I have to bet the total, I mean, we've seen 3 out of 4 of these meetings between these teams, last 4 meetings between these teams go under. Storm, a really good defensive team. They just exploded. Maybe we see them stay in the game with defense. They just shot over 50% from the field. And Minnesota Lynx are a really good defensive team too. So either under, which is against the market, or Storm. That's against the market too. Those are my recommendations.
I love it. Skee Profit, great job. It's $5 Tuesday. Tell everyone what you have up at the website.
Yeah, I do have my $5 play up there. And I'm going to be, for the all access people, just keep an eye out. I will have something on the NBA game later. Maybe I'll have more than one. Then also, French Open, I didn't play this past, the overnight for tonight. But I will be in action tomorrow, some things that I like. And tennis has been going pretty well for me. So all of my work, you guys can find at wt.buzz/HP. Appreciate you for having me.
Skee, yeah, you're going to come on every single week. You're one of my favorite people to talk to. So, and listen, when NBA kind of wraps up, we got WNBA content, and we will profit off of the WNBA. The market is a little bit soft. There are some really gettable numbers. So appreciate Skee coming on. Go check out his $5 play over at WagerTalk.com. All right, we got to bring in my best friend, Lawrence Presman, and we got to talk some NHL. We're going to talk Stars and the Oilers. What's going on in the NHL playoffs? What's your take on just this season so far, and then we'll get into some real specifics.
Listen, it looks like we're going to have the same Stanley Cup Finals as we had last year. I feel like Florida and Edmonton are going to get there, and it's going to be fun. I love that matchup because we have 2 totally different styles. We have that sort of new school style in the Edmonton Oilers with the triangle offense, not Phil Jackson's triangle offense, more like football in Brazil, triangle offense, cycling, east to west type of a game, 5 players playing in one unit versus the Florida Panthers, who are playing that old school north-south, grind them out, kill them, hurt them, bruise them, maim them, get to game 7 and hope the other team's injured style of play. So I'm excited. And it's been an incredible NHL playoffs for me, so I'm happy about that as well. Can't complain at all, but I'm ready for it to end, Andy. I'm ready for a break, bro, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I get it. Been working so hard at the golf course the other day.
I was just doing.
You were just doing it back. Yep, absolutely.
While the show was on, I was in the room over there doing pull downs and chin ups, and I feel good, dude. I hope you guys, Roger, Natural, Duffy, Leg, Javier, Polo, I hope you guys work out, man. Freaking love it. Andy, I just finished the new NASCAR series.
Okay.
Chase for the race, race for the pace, pace of the chase in the race. I don't know what it's called. It was really fun watch. Great. I love watching these sports that I am not vested in on a regular basis. And I love the playoff concept. So fun. So yeah, I highly recommend that.
Let's talk about the Stars and the Oilers here. How do you break this game down?
Well, I'll tell you right off the bat, Andy, there are 6s and 6.5s out there. I have released 2 plays in the series so far. I played the over in game 1, and I played the over in game 3, and both hit. I did give out the under as a free play in game 2. So basically, I'm 3-0 in the series and seeing it really well. Let's take a look at the side first. I don't know how you can't take Dallas here. Now, I understand Edmonton. With Connor McDavid and Draisaitl playing at the top of their game right now, this is an extremely hard team to keep pace with. But when you take a look at the game last time, although it was a 6-1 hockey game, Dallas outshot Edmonton 34-24. That's 34-24. They also only had 2 power plays in which they were 0-2. So a couple of things stand out to me there. One, they were able to take the game to Edmonton and just had some bad puck luck and some horrible bounces. And I watched that game, Andy. There were a lot of goalposts and crossbars. There was one empty net. Chaos ensued, and it did not go in. So Dallas had their chances and just really were a little bit snake-bitten. So on one hand, I like to see that they outshot Edmonton. They took the game to Edmonton. They carried the play to Edmonton, and they lost. I also like to see that they went 0-2 on the power play and 0-2 on the power play before that. This is not a team that goes 0-for on the power play on a regular basis. They have not gone 0-for yet this season in back-to-back games, except those 2. So I expect 3 to 4 power plays from Dallas. I expect them to convert 1 or 2, and I also expect them to get a couple of better puck bounces, and some of those goalposts and crossbars go in instead of go out. So I think we're going to get 3 to 4 goals from Dallas tonight, and I think at plus 140, it's a good bet. Look, this Dallas team was better than Edmonton all season long from start to finish, and this Dallas team is totally stacked. And not only that, Andy, but this Dallas team has dealt with adversity. They were down in the Colorado series. Last year, they were down. They were almost out, and they rallied 0-2 at home, losing both games at home. So this Dallas team has faced adversity in the last 2 seasons. They're absolutely stacked. The numbers suggest that they're going to score, and I think they will. So I like Dallas plus 140. And frankly, guys, if you really want to go big, Dallas in regulation is an interesting bet as well. Now, I also like the over in this game, Andy. The bottom line is, if I'm thinking 3 goals minimum from Dallas, well, nobody is stopping this Edmonton Oilers team. This Edmonton Oilers team is averaging a hair under. Basically, they're averaging 4 goals a game. And to put that in perspective, they played the LA Kings, who had the 2nd best defensive unit in all of hockey over the entire season. They also played the Vegas Golden Knights, who had the 3rd best defensive unit in all of hockey over the entire season. Now they're playing the Dallas Stars, which had the 5th best defensive unit in the entire season. So 2, 3, and 5, and they're still averaging 4 goals a game. Edmonton is going to get theirs. Dallas is going to light it up tonight. I like the over in this game. I like Dallas on the money line, and I like Dallas in regulation. That's about as detailed as I can get, my friend.
It's a great breakdown. That's a fantastic breakdown, man. When you're locked in on your NHL plays, it doesn't get any better. So really appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's $5 Tuesday. Tell everyone what you have up at the website.
Yeah, and I have a very rare play. I have a 4% play in NBA tonight. And to give you guys perspective, I think this is my 3rd 4% NBA play of the entire year. I'm over 62% in 4% plays in the last 13 months. I've won my last 5 of these plays, and I'm also absolutely dominating on the hard court. I had Minnesota +3 last night. Are you kidding me? Not only, Andy, am I picking the right teams against the spread in the NBA, even when I'm slightly off, I still win. So, yeah, +3 on many last night. I got a really, really strong play in the NBA tonight. It is only $5. It's a very rare 4% play. And I also have a 3% play in NHL tonight as well. But my $5 Tuesday play is in the NBA. I highly recommend everybody races over and grabs it. Really, really appreciate it. Mike R. writes, fade Prez's 5-star today. Trust me. So,
Prez,
I don't even have a 5% play, bro. Okay. I mean, you want to know haters, Andy. Haters? Like, I mean,
I'm dying here.
Yeah,
I'm dying here because we get accused of deceiving and then lying. And then sorry. Oh my God.
Mike R loves trolling Prez. You know why?
It's hilarious, man.
Mike, I'm so glad. Mike, I am so glad you enjoy trolling me. Much love, my friend. I'm appreciative. This is not news. I've been called a douche for about 7 years, which, by the way, is what I want to come back as in my second life. I think that's the ultimate compliment. An insult to gay men, but an ultimate compliment to straight guys. So, yeah, I love it, man. I love it.
Your name's been changed to douche on the graphics.
Douche.
Your graphic. Yeah.
At douche.com. Andy, you're doing such a great job on the show, dude. I'm logging in every day. Your viewers are up. Kelly is loving on you. Head office is loving on you. Great job on this show, dude. I'm really excited for you. Hopefully I'll have figured out what my show is going to be for next late August, and I'll get on here and give everyone a heads up.
Help me out in the chat. What was the movie, Prez? Do you know what was the movie? If I want to be reincarnated, I want to come back as a women's bicycle seat. What was the movie?
Yeah,
there was a.
I don't know.
I can't remember, but that was in a movie. So
yeah. So, this has gone off the rails, but funny that I'm on the show. What else you want to know, dude? I'm ready. Name something.
Listen, it doesn't get much better than that. It doesn't get much better than that, Lawrence. We got to get to Steve Merril, and then we got to do a season win total on the Colts. So thank you so much. You know I love you. I can't tell you how much I love Prez. From the very first show that we ever did, for whatever reason, our weird asses vibed.
Yep.
We just got along from the very beginning. We're both super quirky and weird, and we've just been been best friends ever since. Hey, so I love you, brother.
Mark A is gonna buy a $5 douche. There you go. Head over to WagerTalk. Buy my $5 play. Call it a douche. I don't care.
We'll take it.
Andy, I'm having shawarma. I haven't said that in a while, but I'm having shawarma today. Thanks for having me, brother. Lots of love.
I love it. Yes. And we forgot to talk about Skee and Rob's show. If you want to hear more NBA and WNBA analysis, which you should, I'm telling you guys, WNBA, if you're about passive income and you're about building your bankroll, you need to be investing in the WNBA. The props and the lines are soft. Even Gianni said it. We have Gianni betting WNBA props. Who in a million years would have shot? Go watch Skee and Rob's show. They're going to break down NBA. They're going to break down WNBA. And if you hit the subscribe button, you're going to get notified when that show comes on. It's 1:30 Eastern time, so we're about 50 minutes from now. So make sure you check that out. Rob, I may tell a story about Rob when I was in Vegas. I don't know if it's appropriate for the show, but we move on. Let's bring on Steve Merril. Let's bring on Steve. Steve, I was talking about Prez, about how like we met and we just vibed. You and I are exact same boat. Like we started doing a NASCAR show. And it was like, who is this guy and why do I have so much in common with him?
Why do they go around in a circle, Andy Lang? Who do you like in this miserable sport for this week? By the way, speaking of inappropriate, a quick reminder, it is $5 Deuce Day at WagerTalk.com right now. So let's go there and get our Summer's Eve special before the summer celebration ends, which is at midnight tonight, courtesy of the Prez. I will be damned if I have to try to follow him. I don't crave. Most people couldn't follow the Prez, but I can.
Oh,
that was hilarious. So that's the most I've ever seen Andy Lang laugh like at an extended amount of time. And I gotta admit, Andy, I started laughing off camera. I was dialing in. It takes a lot to get me to laugh by myself off camera in office, and I did. And then you started cracking up as well. So that was funny. Best of luck to Prez on his non-existent $5 or 5% play today on Tuesday. Steve, it will not guaranteed. It will not lose. 1,000% guaranteed lock. It will not lose. Might not make much with it either, though. But that was funny.
Fade a play that does not exist.
Fade a play that doesn't exist. That's a new level of hatred.
That's a new
level of hatred.
All right, let's dive into it, Steve. We got a couple of MLB plays. We're going to start with the Pirates and the Diamondbacks. Burrows for the Pirates, Burns for the Diamondbacks, I believe. I checked the weather. It looks like the only. Oh, by the way, be careful, guys. Cubs, Rockies. Wind is blowing strong in. And I noticed this, Steve, because of the team total for the Cubs got down to 4.5. So make sure you check the weather. It's really, really important. I don't see any weather for Pirates and Diamondbacks, but I just want to let everyone know that out there. So let's give us the breakdown. How do you see this? Burrows and Burns going for these guys?
Well, I mean, quick on that Cubs game, all you got to do is look at totals, right? It opened 8 at 7.5 in Wrigley. So when you see a 7.5, it kind of tells you the weather report without having to turn on the Weather Channel. So this is a late game. There's 2 games tonight on MLB Network at 9:40 Eastern. It's regional coverage. It's either Pirates, D-backs, or my Washington Nationals against Ronald Kabang, Seattle Mariners. And we're going to cover both of them here. I'm going to give you free plays on both of those games tonight on MLB Network. This first one, Pirates, D-backs, it's really not a question of who's going to win or who you should play at least. Other than the Rockies, Pirates may be the second worst team in baseball this year. Arizona currently about a -260 favorite, anywhere from -240 to 260 on the money line. So I do like Arizona here. I like Burns on the mound, definitely fading the Pirates. But the question becomes, what's the best way to play this? I'm not a fan of laying -250, -260. Long-term, baseball is an investment more so than any sport, and every cent you save adds up over the course of the season to units won. Definitely can look at the run line, get it down to -1.5, -120 or so. A lot of times we talk about the -1 run line, which is you can create on your own, by the way, by half a unit money line, half a unit run line, but that's still around -200. So this is one of those rare games. I think we can start digging a little bit deeper. You can get a -2 run line at even money, -2.5 run line at +125. So maybe a -2. We haven't talked a lot about -2 run lines, but it's Diamondbacks or pass for me in this game. I think they hold all the edges here. And I'll tell you what, if you continue to fade bad teams in Major League Baseball, you do all right. And the Pirates have not shown me any signs that they're turning things around. They've lost 3 of their last 5. After winning 4 out of 5 against Cincy and Milwaukee, they dropped back-to-back games the last 2, including the opener 5-0 against Arizona yesterday. And as is often the case with bad teams, Rockies, Pirates, other bad teams, when they lose, they usually lose by 2 runs or more. So I think either +1.5 or even that +2 or -2 rather is a good way to play the D-backs tonight.
Love it. Steve Merril, you can check out all of his breakdown videos. He does such a great job. I love the consistency of all your videos, Steve. You're on there every day. So we're going to get into the Nationals and the Mariners. But tell everyone about the videos, free plays, and everything you have up. It's $5 Tuesday. I know you have something up.
So we set a record yesterday, Andy. I challenged my viewers on the daily NBA video to break the comments record, to break YouTube, and then I realized they probably pulled the video, so I pulled that back. But for Memorial Day, I said drop a flag emoji or drop just USA or your home country's flag, which is cool. We got a lot of international viewers, and we don't have an official count, but it had to double or triple the all-time comments. So once again, thanks to all the viewers out there. I know we've been crushing it with the free plays and the NBA videos. I do have my Game 4 video up right now, Pacers Knicks. And then right after the show here today, Dan the Man Alexander and I are going to knock out the Game 5 video for Thunder T-Wolves, which will be up later tonight for tomorrow. And the player props have been doing really well in those videos. We've been dialed in this NBA playoffs, and I've been giving it away for free on WagerTalk TV. But if you want my strongest best bet tonight in Game 4 between the Pacers and Knicks, it is the $5 Tuesday best bet at WagerTalk.com, and it's an 80% instant discount, just $5 tonight. My top NBA play for Game 4, Pacers Knicks, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. And don't forget, I post a free baseball play every day as well on my page at WagerTalk.com.
All right, let's talk National and Mariners. We got Parker going for Nationals. Evans looks like he's going for the Mariners. How do you break this game down?
We're going to look at the total in this one. This is your other regional game at 9:40 Eastern on MLB Network tonight on Tuesday, and I do think there'll be some runs scored. Total opened around 8.5, depending on where you look, and there are still mostly 8.5s out there, but we can still get 8 over -120, -125. 8 is not a real key number. 7 and 9 are the key numbers in baseball, because if it's 4-4, it's going to be 9 or more when it goes to extra innings. If it's 3-3, it's got to get to 7 or more. So 8, 8.5. Either way, you're still getting some value with the over. I like this game to get to 9 runs or more. Nationals started, I believe, like 1-6. My Washington Nationals, off to a slow start, but they've actually been an above 500 team since that first week of the season. I believe they're a little bit underrated still, and I look for them to get some runs tonight in this matchup. Starting pitchers right now, unless something changes later, it's going to be Parker against Evans. And Parker, very mediocre, 4.29 last year, 4.39 this year. He's a below-average pitcher. Logan Evans in his rookie season, 3.3 ERA, might have a little bit of an edge tonight on the pitching matchup for Seattle. But I think overall both offenses are going to hit the opposing starters well. I like the over here. Maybe if you want to be safe, you play the Mariner total over, just because Logan Evans might have a little more success since the Nationals lineup is unfamiliar with him as a rookie pitcher. But once again, I think both offenses hold the edge here. I like over the 8 to 8.5 in the Mariners-Nationals game at 9:40 Eastern.
Steve, can you tell everyone to hit the freaking like button? We don't have enough likes.
I will give them a crotch. How about this? You want a
crotch
shot, Andy? Like, I wore these. I didn't wear them yesterday. And I got a lot of people in the comment that were extremely disappointed that I didn't do another crotch shot. I did one for Sunday's video in preparation for Memorial Day. But come on. Crotch shot doesn't get us a like. I mean, you just don't know how to push a button. I'm pushing
the most
buttons.
patriotic crotch shot I have ever seen.
That was the best thing. I did that on Sports Grid a couple years ago. We were going to commercial, and I showed Morency, and the music's playing. He goes, "Oh, crotch shot!" And right as it faded out, it's like the coolest 10 seconds of TV ever. But a lot of love for the viewers out there. Smash that like button. It really does go a long way to keeping all this content free and plentiful here on WagerTalk TV.
Yeah, it's really true, Steve. Thank you. Steve, real quick. So Dan's going to come on. We're going to break down an NFL season win total. Gut reaction. You have done no research.
You're exactly right. I've done no research. You've summed that up.
Ready? Colts 7.5. Over under.
I'd probably say over, but I haven't even looked at this. I saw the schedules, but I have. Unlike Teddy Covers, I don't start digging into NFL football in May. Although I'll give Teddy credit. I saw on X the other day, him and Isaac were downtown the Fremont Experience at a concert. And so he's like, it is felt bad, and I'm trying to live a little. So Teddy might not have dug it in the NFL as much, and good for him, because there's no need to, folks. We got plenty of time, and any number you see right now is going to be gone for 99% of the recreational bettors when they play it anyways. So
absolutely.
But with that said, 5% lock for Tuesday, over 7.5. Colts wins.
Steve Merril, thank you so much. Thank you for all your work that you do on the free videos. I don't think there's anybody that does more work on the free videos, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy.
All right, guys, here we go. We're going to break down the Indianapolis Colts and their season win total. I have a $5 play that is up in the NBA tonight. Go grab that. It's $5 Tuesday. Pick your handicapper of your choice. I love my $5 play. We're on a 58-32 run in the NBA, 6-2. We came off a disgusting loss on our play last night. Dan, we had Julius Randle over his points. I didn't know the Thunder were just going to face plant Lou Dort on him. In the first quarter. In the first quarter, it was obvious. It was obvious, like, oh, this is over. So live bets galore on unders on Anthony Edwards. But let's talk the Colts. Dan and I went head to head on the Eagles. I liked over. Dan liked under. So let us know, what do you guys think of the Indianapolis Colts? The season win total is set at 7.5. I know where I'm going with this one, and this might actually be a client play on my end. Dan, where are you going?
Well, maybe I can talk you out of that client play, because I think we might be seeing this a little bit different here, Andy. 7.5, man, that number, it piques curiosity. And you saw Steve's gut reaction there, right? Where it was, I don't know, over, right? Well, both years under Shane Steichen thus far, Andy, 8 or more wins. So let's start with that point. Is, we talk all about Mike Tomlin. He's always 500. Obviously, a much smaller sample size, what you're seeing in Shane Steichen. But I know this guy well from being an Eagles fan. I think he was a great tab as a head coach. Now it's just, does he have talent to work with? And that's the big question with this Indianapolis Colts team. I think they did a terrific job in the draft, but you have to start when you're handicapping season win totals with, what does the schedule say? What does the travel say? That's where you have to start. So I look at this schedule, Andy, and while it doesn't look particularly easy, it also doesn't scream like 4-13, right? It doesn't scream that this team is going to have a horrible year. So the way that I looked at it, I have them at least splitting with the division, right? So Tennessee, Houston, Jacksonville. Houston may sweep them like they did last year. However, if they get swept there, maybe they finally win a game in Jacksonville and they sweep Jacksonville. I don't think they're going to be all that great. And then I think they can beat the Raiders. I think this also might be the year that Tomlin's luck kind of runs out a little bit. I think they could match up and at least hang with the Steelers. It's not like the Steelers are going to hang 30 points on them. So it's going to be 1st to 15 in that game. And then I think they can beat the Falcons. So right there is 6 wins, Andy. So 7 if they end up sweeping anybody in their division. That's what I'm assuming here. So then the question is, where do the other wins come from? Rams were bad to start the year last year. It wouldn't be that crazy if you see them stumble out of the gate again, kind of the McVay MO. They see them week 4. Dolphins in week 1. McDaniel's shtick is kind of starting to run a little bit thin there in Miami. Broncos, they're supposed to be a contender. Yes, but the Broncos are always a question mark for me heading into the year. And then you also get to play the Seahawks, another major question for me late in the year. So, Andy, last thing, and then I'll allow you to tell me why everything I say is wrong. But when you're taking overs on teams, typically, I think you're assuming everything has to go right for that team to hit that over. At 7.5, I think everything just has to not go wrong for this team. At 8.5, I'm with you. I'm probably starting to make a case for the under. At 7.5, the only way I could look is over. So I'm looking over the 7.5 wins for the Indianapolis Colts, Andy.
This is an easy under for me. We went 8-9 last year with a minus 50 point differential, Dan. Minus 50. Listen, when our offensive line is healthy, we're really good. But we're never healthy. This isn't a real thing that happens. We drafted Tyler Warren. Awesome. We have Anthony Richardson, who completes 50.6% of his passes. We drafted Anthony Richardson coming out of college, who didn't play many games and wasn't accurate. Guess what? Now he doesn't play many games. He's inaccurate, and he gets hurt all the time. Dan, Daniel Jones is our backup. I can make the case that our backup is better than our starter. This is a recipe for disaster for the Colts this season. We get a couple of injuries and it's over. We have decent receivers. We just don't have a quarterback that can get them. Our secondary's awful. We can't guard anybody. And when you looked at our schedule, I think Miami won. Week 1, Miami, when Tua isn't hurt, I think we're in trouble. Week 2 versus Denver, I think that's a loss. Week 4 at Rams, I think they're better than us. And after week 11, we have to go at Chiefs, Texans, Jags, Seahawks, 49ers, Jags, Texans. We get Chiefs, two doses of CJ Stroud lighting us up. I think this is an under. So we're going to go head to head once again. This is great. So Dan is on the over. I'm on the under here on the Indianapolis Colts. So yeah, this is great.
Head to head again. I wasn't when Anthony Richardson taps out of the game. It will be Daniel Jones coming in on the goal line who can get you in there, right? It's not the ghost of Joe Flacco that's coming in. So I see comments coming in talk about the quarterback situation. People were in love with Anthony Richardson heading into last season. They were like, "Oh my God, the potential's there. He's coming off of the injury." So I feel like, again, talking out of two sides of your mouth with the quarterback situation when you're just saying, "Oh, it's absolute dreck." I think there's worse situations you could have. So yeah, I like it, Andy. Head to head here, back-to-back days. I like the under on the Eagles. You like the under on your team. I like the over on the Colts. You like the over on the Eagles.
We both.
The comments have to break these ties. Comment below. Yeah. And what team do you want to hear us break down next? We're going to do every single team heading through the preseason here, leading up to the season. So what team do you want to hear next? Indianapolis Colts. We got Eagles checked off the list. We'll talk another tomorrow. Comment below on which team you want to hear us break down.
Absolutely. We'll get ready for it. We've gone a little long, but what a great show. Thank you, guys. It's $5 Tuesday. Go check out all of the plays at WagerTalk.com. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to do this again. Remember, bet responsibly. I know a lot of you are going to get a bunch of $5 plays, and we want you to, but we want you to be responsible with your bankroll. We want you to come back tomorrow with your bankroll just a little bit bigger than it was yesterday. So thanks very much for joining us, everyone. Hope everyone had a great and safe Memorial Day weekend. Take care. Good luck on your bets. We'll do it again tomorrow. Bye.